Hello students, welcome to AKR chemistry classes. Today I am going to start with a new topic called group 17 elements, very important for your class 12 KSET and NEET level examination. Group 17 contains 5 elements: fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine and astatine. Astatine is a radioactive element which is unstable, whereas remaining elements are stable. Those are fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. Out of 4, fluorine and chlorine both are exist in gaseous state. These two elements are exist in gaseous state. Whereas coming to bromine, it is the only one non-metal. It is the only one non-metal in the P block. In P block, which exists in liquid state, at normal room temperature and pressure. Iodine is the only one non-metal which exists in solid state, at normal room temperature and pressure. All these elements, if I write the general outermost electronic configuration, noble gases NH2, NPX2, NPY2, NPZ1, all these elements contains only one electron in the outermost energy level, which is far away from the nucleus. Therefore, whenever a particular frequency of radiation falls on it, this electron get jumps. This is the h nu, amount of energy which is, so this is the maximum amount of energy which is moving from the source, h nu naught. This concept you have learned in atomic structure called as photoelectric effect. Based on that concept only I am explaining. This is the minimum amount of energy required. For the emission of electron, and the remaining energy is also get transmitted along with the electron with the different colors. This color can be observed from our naked eyes. Therefore, fluorine has got yellow colored gas, chlorine yellow green colored gas, bromine reddish brown or brown colored liquid, iodine violet solid. Then coming to the next concept, halogens. Group 17 elements are also called as halogens. For example, when first group elements such as sodium or potassium is made to react with chlorine, bromine or iodine, it involved in the formation of salt. Or when second group elements are also made to react with the group 17 elements except astatine, here also it is involved in the formation of salt. Therefore, what we can give the conclusion, either group 1 metals of group 1, non-metals, metals of group 1 or metals of group 2 is made to react with the group 17 elements like fluorine, chlorine, bromine or iodine. They are always involved in the formation of salt. Therefore, salt forming elements are collectively called as halogens. These elements exhibit maximum non-metallic behavior. If you check out the outermost general electronic configuration of these elements, it is like this: noble gases NH2, NPX2, NPY2, NPY1. So there are totally 7 electrons are there in their outermost shell. To attain the octet structure, they requires only one electron. As soon as they gain one electron, they attain an stable octet structure. These elements, by gaining one electron, they form a stable octet structure. Therefore, any element which has a strong tendency to accept an electron to attain a stable octet structure is always exhibit non-metallic behavior. Iodine is the only one compound which is called as sublimized halogen. Iodine is the only one element, Iodine is the only one element which is called as sublimized halogen. What is meant by sublimized halogen? Iodine always exists in solid state. When it is subjected to heating above room temperature, when it is subjected to heating, it directly converted into gaseous state. It directly get converted into gaseous state. The process of conversion of solid directly into gaseous is called as sublimation process. Therefore, iodine is the only one element which is called as sublimized halogen. Due to high reactive nature of fluorine, fluorine is also called as superhalogen. So coming to general electronic configurations. Electronic configuration. Coming to electronic configuration of these elements are like this. Fluorine 2s2 2p5, chlorine 3s2 3p5, bromine 4s2 4p5, iodine 5s2 5p5. So it belongs to second period, it belongs to third period. To which period it belongs means we need to identify in to which orbital the last electrons get entered, to which orbital, to which energy level, and to which orbital the last electron get entered. Here second energy level, third energy level, third orbit, fourth orbit, fifth orbit, and it is sixth orbit. Therefore second period, third period, fourth period, fifth period, and sixth period elements. So by knowing this, we can write down the general electronic configuration of these elements is noble gases NS2, NPX2, NPY2, NPZ1. So due to the similar electronic configuration of these elements, all these elements exhibit similar physical and chemical properties. Coming to the general properties of group 17 elements. First with atomic and ionic radius. Picometers. This is covalent radius, and this is ionic radius. As we know, when we move down the group, atomic radius increases because of shielding effect increases. This we have been learned. I taught in group 14, 15, 16, 17. Group 15, 16. Now in 17 also it is same. So as we move down the group, atomic radius of these elements increases due to increase in shielding effect. So this is the increase in atomic radius from fluorine to chlorine, chlorine to bromine, bromine to iodine. Coming to the ionic radius also, as we move from fluorine to iodine, fluoride to iodide, the ionic radius of these elements also increases. Now one question arises here. Ionic radius of halide ion is always greater than its respective parent atom. Give reason. So this concept we taught in the first year PUC called as chemical bonding. That is, radius of an ion is greater than its radius of its parent atom. Radius of an ion is greater than its parent atom. So if you write the electronic configuration of any halogen atom, it is like this. Noble gases NH2 NP5. As soon as it gains one electron, X minus NH2 NP6. So the electrons are get completely filled up in the outermost p orbital. So as soon as electrons get completely filled up in the outermost orbital, their inter-electronic repulsion becomes maximum. Therefore, if this is the radius of the parent atom, this will be the radius of an ion. This will be the if this will be the radius of the parent atom, this will be the radius of an ion. This will be the radius of an ion. Hence, the radius of an ion of halogen atom is always greater than its radius of halogen atom of its parent atom. Next, coming to ionization energy or ionization potential. Again, ionization energy is inversely proportional to atomic radius. Ionization energy is inversely proportional to atomic radius. What does it indicate? As atomic radius increases down the group, ionization energy decreases down the group. Fluorine is the first element which possesses maximum ionization energy due to minimum atomic radius. In our periodic table, fluorine possesses high minimum atomic radius because as we move across the period from group 1 to group 17, fluorine occupies very lowest minimum atomic radius. Therefore, fluorine possesses highest ionization energy in our periodic table. When fluorine to chlorine, chlorine to bromine, bromine to iodine, as I move, the ionization energy goes on decreases. Therefore, fluorine possesses maximum ionization energy. Iodine possesses minimum ionization energy. So we can give a statement like this: group 17 elements possess maximum ionization energy when compared to any other elements present from group 1 to group 17. Means all the group 17 elements possess minimum atomic radius and maximum ionization energy. Coming to the electron affinity. What is meant by electron affinity? Tendency of an atom to attract the shade pair electrons. Towards itself. Tendency of an atom not to attract the shade pair electron. Tendency of an atom to gain an electron. This is the halogen atom. It has an ability to gain an electron to form halide ion. So whenever a metal, and this reaction delta H is always equal to minus Q kilojoules per mole. Okay? So whenever an electron attacks an parent atom, it gets converted into anion. So this process is called as electron affinity. Tendency of an atom to gain an electron, or amount of heat energy get liberated during the addition of first electron. To the neutral isolated gaseous atom or ion is called electron affinity. Electron affinity values of group 17 elements is always negative in nature, because only one electron we can add into the outermost p orbital of halogen atom to attain the stable octet structure. Therefore, electron affinity values of all the group 17 elements are in negative. In this case, you can observe, as I move from fluorine to chlorine, chlorine to bromine, bromine to iodine, I thought electron affinity values is inversely proportional to atomic radius. Means as atomic radius increases, the electron affinity values should get decreases. But I move from fluorine to chlorine. Chlorine possesses greater electron affinity value when compared to fluorine. This question they are going to ask definitely in your PU level examination. Why? Chlorine possesses greater electron affinity than fluorine. The reason which I already given in the group 16, same reason I am going to give here. Fluorine possesses smaller atomic radius. Chlorine possesses greater atomic radius. This is fluorine and this is chlorine. So this is the electron should get added to attain the octet structure. In fluorine already the electrons are present. In chlorine also already the electrons are present. Due to smaller radius, it possesses maximum electron density around the nucleus. Therefore, inter-electron repulsion is also maximum. Therefore, addition of electron to the fluorine atom releases less amount of energy. Addition of electron to the fluorine atom releases less amount of energy to attain the stability. In case of chlorine, the electrons are present far away from the nucleus, therefore it possesses minimum electron density around the nucleus. Due to this, inter-electronic repulsion is also minimum. Therefore, addition of electrons becomes very easy. Addition of electrons very easy with the liberation of heat energy, with the liberation of large amount of heat energy. That is, the xy value is always greater than x. That's all. Means due to smaller atomic radius of fluorine atom and greater inter-electronic repulsion, addition of electrons becomes difficult, but electron get added with the less amount of energy releases. But in case of chlorine, due to maximum atomic radius and less electronic repulsion, addition of electron takes place very easily with the release of large amount of heat energy. Therefore, electron affinities of chlorine is greater than fluorine. But as we move down the group, with increase in atomic radius, electron affinity values decreases. Coming to the electronegativity, fluorine is the first element having highest electronegative value. Fluorine is the first element having highest electronegative value in our periodic table due to its smaller atomic radius. Fluorine is the first electronegative value in our periodic table due to smaller atomic radius. As we move down the group, electronegativity value is inversely proportional to atomic radius. Means as we move down the group, due to increase in atomic radius, electronegativity decreases. Coming to the bond dissociation energy. Due to high electronegative values of these elements, they are strongly bonded with each other. So when I move from, please note it down, then I will go into explain. Please note it down first. Except fluorine, as I move from chlorine to bromine, bromine to iodine, the bond distance between two halogen atoms goes on increases. As the bond length increases, bond dissociation energy decreases. As bond length increases, bond dissociation energy decreases. Therefore, from chlorine to iodine, if I move, the bond dissociation energy goes on decreases. Therefore, chlorine possesses greater bond enthalpy when compared to bromine and iodine. But chlorine possesses greater bond enthalpy when compared to fluorine. Give reason. This is an important question they are going to ask. The very simple answer is, if I take two fluorine atoms, this is one fluorine atom and this is one fluorine atom. If I take two chlorine atoms, these two fluorine atoms possess smaller atomic radius. A chlorine atom possesses larger atomic radius. Due to smaller atomic radius, this is electron density present between these two atoms. Due to smaller atomic radius, the electron density around the nucleus will be maximum. Due to smaller atomic radius, the electron density on both the nitrogen atom will be maximum. On the both the fluorine atoms will be maximum. Due to this, inter-atomic repulsion is also maximum. As soon as the interatomic repulsion is maximum, we require less amount of heat energy to break the bond. We need less amount of heat energy to break the bond. Break the bond. Okay, right? But in case of chlorine, due to maximum atomic radius and maximum bond length, interatomic repulsion will be minimum. Therefore, require more amount of heat energy to break the bond. Therefore, y value is greater than x. That's all. In case of fluorine molecule, two fluorine atoms are bonded with a single covalent bond. But due to their smaller atomic radius and greater electron density, their interatomic repulsion will be maximum. Therefore, their bond dissociation energy will be minimum. But in case of fluorine molecule, due to their larger atomic radius and interatomic repulsion will be minimum. Therefore, it requires more amount of heat energy to break the bond. Please note it. Coming to the next. Melting points and boiling points of halogens. Both melting point and boiling points of halogens is very less because of weak van der Waals forces. Because of weak van der Waals force of attraction between dimeric halogen molecules. F2, Cl2, Br2, like this. This is called as dimeric molecules. Due to weak van der Waals force of attraction between the dimeric molecules of halogen atoms, fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine, they possess very low melting point as well as boiling point. Next, oxidizing power of halogen. The oxidizing power of an halogen can be calculated in terms of electrode potential value. It is calculated in terms of electrode potential value because halogen atom possess smaller atomic radius and they require only one electron to attain the octet structure. During this process, we need to identify what is its electrode potential value, and these are the electrode potential values of fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. What does these values indicate? This value indicates that fluorine is the strongest oxidizing agent. Fluorine is the strongest oxidizing agent compared to chlorine, bromine as well as iodine. Therefore, fluorine has an ability to displace the lower electrode potential value halide ion from its salts. Fluorine has an ability to displace the lower electrode potential value halide ion from their respective salts. Same thing happens with chlorine as well as with bromine also. Chlorine can also oxidize bromide ion as well as iodide ion. And bromide ion can oxidize only iodide ion, but iodide ion cannot oxidize any of these. The reason is iodine possesses very low oxidizing power. Please note it down. As given the information, iodine possesses very low oxidation potential value. Therefore, it is unable to liberate bromide ion, chloride ion or fluoride ion from their respective salts. But whenever this iodine is made to react with oxo acids of salts, when it is made to react with the halogen, oxy salts of halogen, it liberates the respective halogen. Next, coming to oxidation state. This is the outermost electronic configuration of the group 17 elements, that is NS2, NPX2, NPY2, NPZ1. Common oxidation state will be -1 because all these elements has an ability to accept an electron to attain the stable configuration. Therefore, all the group 17 elements possess common oxidation state, that is -1, except fluorine. Remaining chlorine, bromine and iodine can exhibit oxidation state -1, +1 to +7. This is because of presence of vacant d subshell. How? Other than fluorine, in ground state, if I go on filling the electrons, it is like this. It contains only one unpaired electron, therefore it exhibits +1 oxidation state. In the first excited state, this electron jumps to here, therefore you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now 1, 2, 3, +1, +2 and +3, but +2 oxidation state is unstable. What about in the second and third oxidation state? Please note it down. Over. Now in the second excited state we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total 5 unpaired electrons are there, therefore it exhibits +5 oxidation state. Here it is 3 unpaired electrons, here it is 2 unpaired. In third excited state, this electron will jump to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Total 7 unpaired electrons are there, therefore it exhibits +7 oxidation state. So depend upon the excited state, its oxidation state varies from +1 to +3, +3 to +5, +5 to +7 oxidation state. Bromine, chlorine and iodine has an ability to exhibit +3, +5 and +7 oxidation state, +7 oxidation state, but in their different excited state, first excited state, second excited state and third excited state. Higher oxidation state of chlorine, bromine and iodine, chlorine, bromine and iodine, whenever it combines with fluorine, they always involved in the formation of interhalogen compounds in the higher oxidation state, that is either in +7 or in +5, either in +7 or +5 oxidation state. If these three elements are tried to combine with fluorine, they are involved in the formation of interhalogen compounds. Or when they involved in the reaction with oxygen, they involved in the formation of two components. One is oxides, another one is oxoacids. In case of oxides, chlorine has got chlorine can exhibit only two oxidation states, that is +4 and +6. Whereas bromine can exhibit only +4 oxidation state. In case of oxides of chlorine and bromine, chlorine exhibit two variable oxidation state, that is +4 and +6, whereas bromine exhibit only one oxidation state, that is +4. The relative oxidizing power of halogens can be also determined by reacting with water. Fluorine easily soluble in water by forming hydrogen fluoride with the liberation of oxygen. As we move down the group, reactivity of halogen atoms towards water goes on decreases due to decrease in electronegativity. When chlorine reacts with water, it involved in the formation of weak acids such as hypochlorous acid, and bromine reacts with water, it involved in the formation of hypobromous acid. So this reaction indicates that fluorine is the strongest oxidizing agent when compared to other elements present in the same period. Now my one question is there. Iodine is insoluble in water. I will give the information. Give reason: because iodine exists in solid state and it is non-polar in nature. All these elements are non-polar in nature, but iodine is non-polar in nature due to non-polarity, or due to non-polar in nature it is insoluble in water. But the solubility of iodine in presence of potassium iodide in water, the solubility of iodine in presence of potassium iodide in water becomes more. Give reason. Question is very simple. Why the solubility of iodine in presence of potassium iodide with water will be more? Now the next coming to anomalous behavior of fluorine. Any element which exhibit different properties when compared to the other elements present in the same period is called as anomalous behavior. Why fluorine exhibit different properties compared to other elements? The reason is fluorine possesses smaller atomic radius and ionic radius compared to other elements present in the period. It possesses high electronegative character or value and absence of vacant deception. Due to these three reasons, it exhibits anomalous behavior. The first different behaviors exhibited by fluorine with other elements is: fluorine possesses high ionization energy and high electronegative value, whereas other elements possess low ionization energy and low electronegative value due to increase in atomic radius. The reason is due to increase in atomic radius. Reactions of fluorine is highly exothermic in nature, whereas reactions of other elements also exothermic in nature, but whenever the fluorine subjected to reaction with either oxygen, water, whatever it may be, it is highly exothermic, which is explosive in nature. But reactions of chlorine with oxygen or water, it is also exothermic, but it is not explosive in nature. With respect to oxidation state, fluorine can exhibit +1 or +2 oxidation state, +1 as well as +2 oxidation state, and it also exhibits -1 oxidation state. Whereas other elements can exhibit +1 to +1 oxidation state due to the presence of vacant d subshells. Due to the presence of vacant d subshells. Vacant d subshells. Please note it down. Coming to the chemical reactions of halogens of group 17 elements. Group 17 elements. Reaction with hydrogen. All halogens reacts with hydrogen directly and indirectly to form hydrogen halides. Hydrogen fluoride, hydrogen chloride, hydrogen bromide and hydrogen iodide. When these hydrogen halides are treated with aqueous medium, they are involved in the formation of hydrohalic acid. Means all these hydrogen halides are easily soluble in water to form the respective acids. The acidic strength of hydraulic acid is like this. Hydroiodic acid is strong acid. It is considered as strong acid, and hydrogen fluoride is considered as weak acid. The reason is very simple. As we move down the group from fluorine to iodine, this is the bond length between hydrogen and fluoride, and this is the bond length between hydrogen and iodine. We know that bond length is inversely proportional to bond dissociation energy. Here we require minimum amount of dissociation energy. Minimum amount of dissociation energy to break the bond. But here we require maximum amount of dissociation energy to break the bond. Therefore, hydrogen iodide is a strong acid when compared to hydrogen fluoride. Next, coming to thermal stability. Again, thermal stability we are going to explain based upon the concept bond length with respect to bond dissociation energy. Lesser the bond length, greater the bond dissociation energy, greater the bond length, lesser the bond dissociation energy. As bond dissociation energy increases, stability also increases. Therefore, hydrogen fluoride is more stable than chloride, bromide and iodide. The reason is the bond length between hydrogen and fluorine is minimum, and the bond length between hydrogen and iodide is maximum. Greater the bond length, lesser the stability. Lesser the bond length, greater the stability. Then I am going to explain the ionic character based upon the electronegativity of halogen atom. It possesses maximum electronegative value and it possesses least electronegative value. As electronegativity decreases, its ionic character also increases. Therefore, hydrogen fluoride is ionic in nature. Hydrogen partially ionic, partially covalent, whereas hydrogen bromide and hydrogen iodide are purely covalent in nature. Coming to melting point and boiling point, except hydrogen fluoride. If you move from HCl to hydrogen iodide, the melting point and boiling point, this is the melting point and this is the boiling point, goes on increases. I'll give the reason. The reason is very simple. As we move down the group, molar mass increases, therefore van der Waal force also increases. Means molecules will come closer and closer with each other as with increase in molar mass. Therefore, melting point and boiling point also increases. But here you can observe hydrogen fluoride possesses abnormal melting point. Hydrogen fluoride possesses abnormal melting point and boiling point. Give reason. This is the structure of hydrogen fluoride. Fluorine is more electronegative than hydrogen. Therefore, it carries partial negative charge. And hydrogen carries partial positive charge. And between these two, a force of attraction exists between fluorine atom of one hydrogen molecule and hydrogen atom of another hydrogen fluoride molecule. And this type of bonding is called as intermolecular hydrogen bonding. It is called as intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Due to intermolecular hydrogen bonding, hydrogen fluoride possesses abnormal melting point and boiling point. Coming to next one, a reaction with oxygen. A reaction with oxygen. First, with fluorine. When fluorine molecules reacts with oxygen, it forms respective fluorides but not oxides. The reason is fluorine is more electronegative than oxygen. When oxygen is more electronegative, then the compounds are oxides. But in this case, fluorine is more electronegative than oxygen. Electronegative value of fluorine is greater than O2. Therefore, the obtained compounds are called as fluorides but not oxides. So whenever the fluorine combines with oxygen, it always involved in the formation of only two compounds. One is dioxygen difluoride, another one is oxygen difluoride. This oxygen difluoride acts as a good oxidizing agent or fluorinating agent. This oxygen difluoride is used as a rocket fuels, whereas dioxygen difluoride are used in nuclear reactors. These nuclear reactors are used to produce the electric current by radioactive fission reactions. During that, plutonium is a radioactive element which will be stick to the nuclear reactor, To remove this one radioactive element, we are going to use oxygen difluoride. This oxygen difluoride are treated with this radioactive element which is spent during nuclear fuel reactors. It gets removed in the form of plutonium hexafluoride. Plutonium is a radioactive element which is stick to the nuclear reactors, which is removed by treating with dioxygen difluoride in the form of plutonium hexafluoride. Note it down. Chlorine, bromine and iodine reacts with oxygen to form the respective oxides. Here, in this case, if I check the electronegative value of oxygen is greater than chlorine, bromine as well as iodine. Therefore, the obtained compounds are called as oxides. Therefore, whenever the chlorine, bromine and iodine reacts with oxygen, they are involved in the formation of oxides, and these compounds having their oxidation number +1 to +7. And this is the decreasing order of their stability of their oxides. As the electronegative value decreases, the stability of these oxides also decreases. Next, coming to stability of order of oxides having the common halogen atom. For example, oxides of chlorine. This is the order of stability. Means, in case of oxides of chlorine, this molecule possesses greater stability when compared to these three. The reason is, in this molecule, chlorine possesses higher oxidation state. In this molecule, chlorine possesses lower oxidation state. Means, the stability of an oxide depends upon the oxidation state of halogen atom. Greater the oxidation state, greater the stability of greater the oxidation state of halogen atom, greater the stability of oxides. Oxides of chlorine are powerful oxidizing agents. And this component is used as bleaching agent for paper, textile industries, and it also used in the purification of water. Oxides of bromine are least stable and it acts as a good oxidizing agents. These are the oxides of iodine which are insoluble in solids, and this is the compound which is used to estimate carbon monoxide gas. Means, when this compound are treated with carbon monoxide gas, this oxide of iodine get converted into iodine molecule. The liberated iodine is treated with sodium thiosulfate. Means, it is titrated against the sodium thiosulfate. Amount of sodium thiosulfate get consumed is exactly equal to amount of iodine get liberated, which is exactly equal to amount of this compound get reacted with the carbon monoxide. Then coming to oxides of chlorine. Oxides of chlorine are acidic in nature. So Why? The reason is whenever the oxides of chlorine are treated with water, they involved in the formation of respective acids. This is applicable only for your KCET or NEET level examination, but not for your PU level examination. Please note down and learn the things properly. Next, coming to a reaction with metals. Halogens. Halogens reacts with metals to form respective metal halides. As we move down the group, the ionic character of these metal halides goes on decreases. Metal fluoride is more ionic than chloride, more ionic than bromide, more ionic than iodide. The reason is very simple. As I move from fluorine to iodine, the electronegative character decreases. Greater the electronegative character, greater will be the ionic character. But as soon as I move down the group, the electronegative character decreases, automatically ionic property also decreases. In certain compound, for example, consider metal tin. When tin reacts with chlorine, it involved in the formation of two compounds. In one case, it exhibits +4 oxidation state. In another case, it exhibits +2 oxidation state. So this compound is highly covalent in nature when compared to this compound. Means whenever a metal reacts with halogen to form more than one compound having different oxidation state, a compound in which the metal with higher oxidation state is more covalent than a compound with lower oxidation state. So this completes the chemical reactivity of group 17 elements. So I will recap everything what I taught today. We have learned how many elements are there in group 17, why they are called as halogens. Then we learned the electronic configuration of fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. Based on that, we have learned the general properties of halogens, such as atomic and ionic radius, ionization enthalpy, electron affinity, electronegativity. And we also learned the chemical properties, that is reaction with hydrogen, reaction with oxygen and reaction with metals. Okay students, I think you have been understood properly. If you have been understood, please subscribe the channel. And in next class, I am going to continue the remaining part of group 17 elements. Thank you. Have a nice day.